right idea.
bow our heads in prayer. Ever-present God, we ask your presence and attention here tonight. We gather to recognize the accomplishments of these women and men, graduates, faculty, parents, and friends. We are grateful for the opportunity to be here. We thank you and all who have enabled us to reach this day. May all that we do here this evening be done in a spirit of appreciation of our faculty, thankfulness to our parents, and service to our local and global community. Lord, bless our commencement, strengthen us all in your service, and enable us to participate in the transformation of our world. As always, we ask this in the name of the Lord our God. Amen.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dr. Burton, Chairperson Adrian, Mr. Pike, Dr. Graham, Mr. Chickering, Mrs. White, board members, faculty, parents, guardians, friends, and students to the graduation ceremony of the class of 1992. There is much sadness at this time for me to be leading into this, but yet there is great elation. To elect to be graduating is a wonderful feeling, but yet as I am leaving this school, I leave with the academic and social lessons this school has taught me. The knowledge that is gained by going to school is of great importance to a student's future and fulfilled life. The basis for academic success is measured by one's willingness to work and the effort and energy that is put into it. Socially, however, the lessons learned are of significant value and are lessons that will be remembered and used for the rest of one's life. To be a student in high school, one must learn to deal with authority figures other than parents, even though we feel we can get along without them anymore. Throughout life, however, the need to acknowledge and respect those of a higher position will become more apparent. The reason they are of a higher rank is through their wisdom and experience over the years. They know a lot more than you might, and to get along cooperatively, you can learn much from them. Another lesson I learned, however, is to stand up for myself and to speak my mind when I'm wrong. It is far better to be able to actually say what I feel than to allow myself to be treated as a non-person. School also allows a chance to participate physically on sports teams, even if one isn't the most athletic or coordinated person. One can still further oneself. Competitive athletics teaches sportsmanship and playing other teams and the feeling of bonding and togetherness with one's own team, no matter if the team wins or loses. Of course, it's always better to win, but you can actually learn more by losing. Being on sports teams or involved in clubs and organizations, or just everyday school life in general, enables one to understand others and to be better able to get along with people. In life before kindergarten, the only important person was me, basically because you were one of the only people you knew. In elementary school, school, you begin to start the growing process by learning to share more, making friends, having rules and some responsibilities. But who did you honestly feel had to be first in line or first on the swing? Me. In junior high, insecurity strikes, and all that matters is what others think of me. High school, however, brings on the realization that you are who you are, and you're not the only person on this planet. You begin to truly grow up in high school and to respect other people. You learn that some are nicer than others, some smarter, some more creative, some more athletic, and some more social. But yet you learn not to judge people for what they appear to be on the outside, but for who they really are on the inside. It doesn't matter what kinds of clubs or teams you join, but the reason why you join, to make yourself and others happy. School is not just to teach you facts and figures, but to make you a stable, well-rounded person, enthusiastic with life, and happy with yourself. All that school has taught me has been important, and is knowledge I will value for years to come. I will value most, however, the valuable social skills that I will keep for the rest of my life. Good luck to my class, the class of 1992, and a special thanks to Kara, Heather, Bonnie, Jen, Nicole, Lee, Stephanie, and Mandy. Thanks for everything, guys. It really has been a long, strange trip. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, family, friends, and fellow human beings, I would like to begin by reading you a favorite poem. It is short and simple and sweet and honest. It was written by Kurt Vonnegut Jr. in Cat's Cradle. Oh, a sleeping drunkard up in Central Park, and a lion hunter in the jungle dark, and a Chinese dentist and a British queen, all fit together in the same machine. Nice, nice, very nice. Nice, nice, very nice. Nice, nice, very nice. So many different people in the same device. This poem simply speaks the truth. Every single person in this room on this planet is an interconnected and important part of the same giant machine. Everything we do and say and think shape and define the people and the events around us. I have realized that I have been shaped by the people and the ideas that I have encountered here in New Hampshire, here at Interlinks. The bad things that I have witnessed are just as important as the good, because by doing bad, I have had a chance to strengthen my morals and beliefs, and I have a desire to change things that have gone wrong. And there is much that has gone wrong. People have forgotten the premise of this poem, that every human fits together in this great machine of Earth, and that every human is important to every other human. Right now, there's a lot of hate and anger and violence between people and even cultures on this world. Many people believe that we must defeat our enemies or competitors and become better than they are through ruthless competition, force, and hate. And this is why I'd like to talk about hate tonight, because I believe there is a better way of accomplishing things. I recently read a beautiful short story about hate entitled Memories of the Flying Wall Light Shop by Gary Kilworth, and it goes something like this. Sean, a Scottish man with bright red hair, had just moved to Hong Kong to work as a journalist. His boss, a Chinese man by the name of John Tang, seemed to have picked him out for victimization. No matter how hard Sean tried to befriend him, this boss would berate and belittle him, making Sean's life absolutely miserable. Sean grew to hate this man, and for very real reasons. After one particularly infuriating day at work, Sean passed the temple and sighted an old Chinese gentleman seated cross-legged in the alleyway, smoking a long bamboo pipe. Curious, he asked nearby vendors who the old man was. The vendor replied that the man was smoking his enemy in a magic smoke pipe. Still in an irrational mood, Sean walked over to the old man, explained that he also wished to smoke an enemy. The old man smiled and had Sean write the name of his boss on a piece of paper, which he then tore up and placed in the bowl of the pipe. Sean sucked from the pipe, inhaling the smoke from the paper, and feeling slightly foolish, quickly left. The idea, or so he supposed, was that once he had smoked the name of his enemy, had the hated man inside of him, he would come to know the man completely. He would be able to predict any moves his enemy might make and have a psychological advantage over him. Sean thought that by completely understanding his enemy, he would be able to defeat him. Sean's life went on, and his boss, John, was as cool as ever. But several days later, he started having visions and began dreaming about completely unfamiliar objects and events. Slowly, he began to realize that he was experiencing John's memories, both the good and the bad ones. The memories became more intense and vivid. Looking at a row of bicycles one day, Sean suddenly had the overwhelming feeling that from John's perspective, a bike was a detested, ugly, and deadly thing. He then had a large and painful memory flash and understood everything. He called his boss and invited him to lunch, saying, "I know about your son." When John arrived, he was furious. "What is this about?" he demanded. "My family is none of your business." Sean put his hand on his boss's shoulder and explained everything, saying, "It was Christmas, and you wanted to buy your son a gift. He wanted a bicycle more than anything in the world. So you brought him to the shop, and he was so excited that he begged to ride it home. You loved your son and could not refuse. So you drove behind him while he rode the bike. You couldn't stop him from being hit when a man behind you suddenly swerved in front of the car, killing the boy. This man, who had bright red hair like mine, took off, and I am the target for your suppressed anger and grief. You still want to punish that man to ease your guilt, so you take your bitterness out on me. You know that I did not kill your son. I understand now, and I am so sorry." And at this moment, Sean did completely understand this hated enemy, and found that he could no longer hate him. His boss was crying with sadness and relief, and the two men embraced. Sean began to realize what that old man with the pipe had offered him. It was not power over one's enemy, but love. He had thought that by understanding his enemy, he would be able to defeat him, but realized that once you understand a person enough, the hate you feel can be turned into love. This story is inspiring because it can be applied to our lives. Right now, think of the person you most hate. The person who is obnoxious or disgusting or a bully. I'll bet that if you really looked at this person's life, understood the forces that shaped him or her, that you could no longer feel hate. This last summer, I met a boy that I really disliked, and I spent so much effort on meeting him that I never stopped to look at his life, and at the obvious and sad reasons behind his behavior. And once I did this, I found it easy to like him, even to love him. Many times it is easier to simply hate something or someone, or even a group of many people. But so much could be accomplished if we tried to understand our enemies, rather than competing or fighting with them. This concept is so important, especially now, when I hear racial put-downs and Japanese bashing in this very school every day. The world doesn't need to be this way, and we, as fellow human beings, can start to change it with respect, cooperation, and understanding among all people. There is, in fact, one community that already utilizes these concepts that I dream about living in. This group of people make it their lives goal to learn about and to understand all people, even enemies. Everyone in this society is an integral part of the society's goal, which is to learn and to explore. So every being is treated with respect, no matter what role they play or what job they have. The individuals that make up this community are incredibly varied. They learn to live together in a group while retaining their own separate cultures and customs. It is, of course, a challenge to learn to live with and to respect so many different kinds of people. But this is a worthy and enlightening challenge. The leader of this society is a person who has earned his leadership through hard work and compassion. He is respected by the people and listened to because he in turn listens to and respects them. In this society, humans have learned that cooperation among different groups is a more efficient way of accomplishing things than always trying to be the first or the best. These people challenge themselves intellectually rather than violently. This, of course, sounds like a fantastical utopia, and indeed it is, but one that I think we as humans would do well to emulate. I am talking about the community portrayed aboard a futuristic starship on the television show Star Trek: The Next Generation. You may roll your eyes, but this is the type of society I would choose to live in. Living on such a starship will most likely only be a dream in my lifetime, but I can, and I will, work towards the goals and the ideals presented in this TV show, in the hope that even a portion of them can be a reality that I will live to see. I will search and explore, and listen and learn while I'm alive, and I will help to choose leaders who prove their worth daily in the communities they live in. I will do my best to understand, respect, and love any form of life that I encounter. I can also hope that others, including yourselves, will do the same. I would like to end by telling you why I love the human race. Despite all of the destruction we cause and the awful things we do, humans are still hopeful and good creatures. When I least expect it, a human will surprise me by doing something beautiful. 2 years ago, I went with a friend to a concert in Maine. We had gone early to spend the day at the ocean, but we ended up waiting in the car in the pouring rain for 5 hours on a cold and miserable day. We finally went to the concert, which was outdoors, and got thoroughly soaked. Sometime during the course of the evening, I lost my wallet with all my money, my license, and my car keys. As a result, I spent the second half of the show looking for it, and unsuccessful, we waited for 2 hours after the concert ended in a police station waiting for a locksmith. By the time this all happened, there were only a handful of cars left in the parking lot. It was 2 o'clock in the morning and still pouring out when I saw a man walking to my car window. I was so tired and frustrated that I impatiently rolled down the window and scowled, "What do you want?" He looked at me and said gently, "I'm just walking around the parking lot, giving flowers to the people who are still here." And he offered me a little bunch of hand-picked purple wildflowers. What could I do but burst into a complete smile? "Thank you," I said, and he replied, "You look much nicer when you smile," and walked off into the rain. Not knowing who this man was or what he wanted, I had yelled at him, and he responded with a simple gesture by turning my ugly and angry mood into a happy and surprised one. If just one man had this much power, then imagine what an entire world of people can do, together, working as parts of the same machine. Our graduating class is made up of these people. We are going to look at the bad and unhappy things in this world with compassion and understanding. And like the man with the flowers, we will transform these things into good. Thank you, and good luck to all of my friends in the class of 1992.
Good evening. I'd like to introduce to you our commencement speaker, Mr. Richard Pike. In 1984, Mr. Pike came to our school as a new assistant principal. This was before we, class of '92, came a part of H. Lakes High School. But when we did, he grew attached right away. Throughout the years, Mr. Pike was more than just a principal, but a friend, a father, and a great guy. Mr. Pike left us in December to take a job as the assistant superintendent of the Teen School District. And because there was such a special bond between Mr. Pike and the class of '92, we felt honored when he agreed to be our commencement speaker. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Richard M. Pike.
Good evening. Yogi Berra, the great New York Yankees catcher, once said at a banquet in his honor, "I want to thank you for making this event necessary." I would not say that my being asked to be your commencement speaker was necessary, but it is greatly appreciated, and I consider it a true privilege and a pleasure to be here in this capacity. You may, however, thank me in advance for making this commencement address brief and for not talking about politics, president, economic policy. What I would like to do is to put my remarks into some kind of perspective. Frankly speaking, 3 hours ago, most of you had no idea who the guest speaker would be this evening. And 3 hours from now, most of you will have forgotten what was said. And that's okay. That's normal, especially for the graduates whose thoughts are here and there and everywhere this evening. So then let us focus not on the past, not on the future, but let's capture and live this moment right now. We are here, after all, for a very specific purpose. Escort the Inner Lakes High School class of 1992 over the threshold of secondary education. One more rite of passage. It is a moment of mixed emotions when many graduates remember thinking, or at least saying once, "I can hardly wait to get out of here," and then suddenly realizing this is it. There is no "I'll see you in September." As a matter of fact, take a good look at the class of 1992. For this is the last time that all of them will be together as a class, as a group, as friends. Only winning the Tri-State Megabucks has better odds. I promised that I would not talk about politics or any other heavy material this evening, but I would be totally remiss if I did not share with you at least one educational thought. As most of you know, during the last 2 decades, our schools have been under intense public scrutiny, and for the most part, I think all of us in the educational community have weathered the storm quite well, facing what appears to be one of the greatest concerns throughout the country, not just in the Lakes region, and that is the declining academic performance of our students. Inner Lakes High School gets high marks on preparing your students. I can say this with a great deal of confidence and from personal experience during my 7 years here. So what about this declining academic performance issue? I needed to know, how can I get a real handle on the cultural literacy of this class? How can I get a true pulse of the graduates' knowledge base? What I needed was a comprehensive evaluation instrument, a highly scientific assessment. What I got was Douglas Carty, a representative cross-section of the Inner Lakes population. Tremendous burden rested on Doug's shoulders as he knew that the academic reputation of his classmates hinged on the success or failure with this test. You will be pleased to know Doug knew that Adolf Hitler was the leader of Germany when the United States entered World War II. He knew that Adolf Hitler was the leader of Germany when he knew that the Underground Railroad was a network for helping slaves escape. He knew that Tennessee Williams wrote A Streetcar Named Desire, and he knew that Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. Doug did very well, and I was feeling really good about the entire process until I said, yes, Doug, Thomas Edison. Where would we be without him? And without any hesitation, Doug said, we'd all be sitting in the dark watching television. Seriously, ladies and gentlemen, the 1990s will be a time of major testing for schools as demands intensify for a better educated workforce that will enable U.S. industry to face increasing competition from abroad. An oxymoron is a figure of speech in which contradictory or incongruous terms are combined, usually for emphasis. Cruel kindness, to make haste slowly, military intelligence, or my favorite, free public education. In many ways, the term commencement activities is an oxymoron. Commencement suggests a beginning, yet many people view today's event as an ending. Truth is, it's probably a little bit of both. So let's talk for a moment about the class of 1992 and what's next. In your years of formal education, you have studied the past. As a society, we seem to long for it. Nostalgia is our way of holding on to the good old days, which maybe never were. And then we look to the future. What are you going to do after graduation? Where do you want to be in 5 years? What are your long-range goals? Somewhere, lost in the middle, is probably what is most important. It is not yesterday. It is not tomorrow. It is now. And I'm not going to ask you to wake up and smell the coffee. Rather, I would prefer that you take time to smell the roses. Tonight is only one brief snapshot in time. Freeze it, embrace it, preserve it, as you should do for all those special moments in your life. Think about time as an equal opportunity employer. Every one of us
the salutatorian, Cara Marie Nader.
Vocational Center, Laconia High School, who has completed the food service program at the Vocational Center. Candidates for the award must demonstrate a high degree of skill and interest in the food service field, and they must plan to pursue post-secondary educational training in food service. Troy Martin was enrolled in the food service program at the Vocational Center at the time of his death in May 1986. His goal was to continue his education in the food service field. In loving memory of Troy, the scholarship was awarded by his parents in 1992 to Annalise Wilmar. going to further her education in the food service field at New Hampshire Technical College in Berlin. The American Legion Post number 33 Citizenship Prize of a medal and a certificate is awarded to that student in the senior class who has shown the best qualities and good citizenship during the year. This year it goes to Bonnie Rose Alba. The next is an award that's already been presented, but we're going to have the person stand. It is the Alumni Loyalty Cup, awarded to that student in the senior class who has been a member of Interlakes High School for at least 2 full years, who ranks in the upper half of the class as shown by the scholastic record, and whose record of loyalty to the school organization, both character and initiative, meet the Interlakes High School ideals, goes to, or went to, Douglas Carter. Douglas. The Roger H. Wyatt Memorial Trophy is awarded to that student in the senior class who is not receiving valedictorian, salutatorian, or other formal awards, yet deserves special recognition as a person who best typifies the spirit of service at Interlakes High School. Factors to be considered are attendance, courtesy, cooperation, industry, truthfulness, sportsmanship, kindness, reliability, loyalty, and cheerfulness. This year it goes to Ryan Paul White. Also strong. The American Legion Post number 33 prize of a medal and a certificate is awarded to that student in the senior class who has excelled in the knowledge and understanding of United States history. This year, the prize goes to Jennifer Elizabeth O'Connor. The Huntress All-Around Achievement Cup is awarded to the member of the senior class who has shown the greatest potential of becoming a factor in the world through strength of character and qualities of leadership, record of scholarship and achievement, and influence upon his or her fellow students. This year's winner is Bonnie Rose Alba. The Daughters of the American Revolution Award is awarded to a member of the senior class who possesses the following qualities of character to an outstanding degree, namely dependability, service, leadership, and patriotism. This year's awardee is Crystal Page Kennedy. The Industrial Arts Award is presented to the student who exhibits pride in workmanship and integrity of purpose in the field of technology. This year's winner is Jonathan C.H. Bryan. qualifications to playing a varsity sport and has a minimum B average. We have two awardees. First, Jessica Michelle Brothers. The second to Douglas James Carty. The Meredith Rotary Business Award is awarded to the outstanding business student in the graduating class. This year's winner is Catherine Louise Parsons. The Meredith Rotary Math Award is presented to the outstanding mathematics student in the graduating class. This year's winner is Bonnie Rose Elba. The Faculty Award is awarded to those students, boy and girl, who in the estimation of the faculty have upheld the qualities of Interlakes High School and who best represent the student body of the school. And I'll call these two together. Lenore Cunningham and Jeffrey Daniel Straw. The Joseph F. Smith Jr. Award is awarded by the immediate family of Joseph F. Smith Jr. This cup is awarded each year to a member of the graduating class who best qualifies in the following areas: school spirit, resourcefulness, perseverance, friendliness, love for people and life, consideration, service for others. This year's recipient is Lindy Michelle Isabel. The Interlakes chapter of the National Honor Society English Achievement Award is presented to that member of the senior class who has nurtured his or her personal growth in understanding and appreciating good literature and has demonstrated a consistent improvement in both oral and written communication skills. This year's recipient is Bonnie Rose Elba. The Babe Ruth Award is awarded to that girl and boy of the senior class who, in the opinion of their fellow students, have made the greatest contributions to the spirit of sportsmanship and fair play during the year. And I'd like to both come up together. These winners this year are Crystal Page Kennedy and Jeffrey Daniel Straw. Thank you.
Paula HS.
First thing I would like to say is thank you very much to the senior class who has honored me by asking me to be a part of this evening and asking me to speak to you and to your parents. I spend a lot of time speaking to groups, and I have to tell you this is the greatest honor that I can remember to speak in quite some time. And I too will try and be brief. Some of you may know I'm an English teacher in another school district. When I told my students that I was going to be talking to them in this class, I kind of tried out head of school, Dr. Gary Ginsberg.
Good evening. I represent the last speech. I have to tell you, I truly enjoyed it.
special look at a special lady. Dedication. Mother, advisor, and friend. These three words describe an incredible woman who has dedicated her time to our class and made these past 4 years the best they could be. From soccer games to winter carnival, lip sync to sandwich fair, you have nurtured us, encouraged us, and most of all, loved us. This is why we, the class of 1992, dedicate this pinnacle to Mama White. With heartfelt gratitude and many thanks. We love you. Class of 1992. It was very difficult this year for our class to decide on a gift. With the brand new school, there was not much left to improve upon. Nonetheless, we do have a gift which will come in handy in the future. Dr. Raymond, would you please come forward? On behalf of the class of 1992, I would like to present to you and the school a check so that the school may use it to further develop itself in our name.
At this time, I would like to read our senior class ode. How fast the years have flown. Our future has become the past. The friends that we have made in our hearts will last. Despite our parents' fear, they've watched and let us grow. And this whole year will end in tears. We know it's time to go. Pictures in our photo albums, visions in our minds, flashbacks of the moments we shouldn't leave behind. We'll laugh and cry as we remember. Memories will never pass us by until the hands of time choose to wave goodbye. We'll have so much news to share about the good times and the tough. Perhaps a smile and outstretched hand in passing will be enough. Enough of the past and good old days. We're leaving that behind. But listen to a verse or two. Don't let them slip your mind. Keep the old as long as you can, till it's time to put it away. Take the new as soon as it's better. It's sure to come your way. When the time has come to sit and rest, you ache too much to stand, stay calm and look behind you. There's a friend, a helping hand. One last word of wisdom when you're caught up in your woes. Laughter is the cushion to all life's harmful blows.
Good evening, school board members, Dr. Burke, faculty, parents, relatives, friends of the class of 1992. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce a very special man who over the years has guided me through the trials and tribulations of life. My father, Richard M. Pike.
Not on your program, but still to come, is a guest speaker. I guess he's not here. Therefore, let's get right to
reason you came tonight. Nicole Marie Lamont. Heather Marie Burton. James Paul Bertolino. Ryan Paul White. Lenore A. Cunningham. Jessica Michelle Brothers. Kara Marie Couder. Bonnie Rose Elbon. Crystal Paige Kennedy. Danielle Marie Isabel. Jeffrey Daniel Straw. Sean Edward Haskins. Jennifer Elizabeth O'Connor. Kara Ann Clinton. Carolyn Rosa Hellman. Patricia Ann Dean. Krista L. Tracy. Marcia Lynn Stobbins. Melissa Lynn Dollar.
I'll holler at him too. Ready to go this year?
Catherine Louise Parson. Lindy Michelle Isabel. Douglas James Carter. Stacy Lee Cushing. Angela Carmen Lance. Thea Larrabee. Jennifer C. Hughes. Melissa Manita. Kimberly Ann Boston. Tammy Jean Weeks. Jeffrey David Cummings. McAdam Lee Mason. Kenneth James Taylor, Jr. Hats off to Kenny. Kevin John O'Brien. John Carroll Davis, Jr. Annalise Wilmar. Krista Lauren Dow. Angela Camilla Kozak. Stacy Lynn Hawkins. Adam Blake. Melanie M. Polo. Remember, freeze those moments. Dear one, Sukmana Kamal. Lauren Jean Lavoie. Jody Lynn Smith. Melody Sue DeMond.
Way to go, sis!
Jonathan C.H. Bryan. Alan Sumner Ham Jr. Shane Justin Halsey. Christopher C. Gonzalez. Alexander Joseph White. Paul Thompson. Brandon James Pike. Trevor A. Chase. Carrie Anna Hart. Holly Ellen Price. Lauren Jean Healy. Erica Lynn Brown. Holly Leanne Fairmont. Hale Everett Richardson. Justin John Morton. Robert J. Sabosely.
Hey! Hey, yo, I'm the kind of guy your mother warned you about. All right.